Welcome to video number 3 in my plugin series. Today we're looking at True Iron by Kazrog. I had to make this video because I love this plugin. It's so much nerdy stuff that it's off the charts, and it's coming right up. So, good day and welcome to the Time Preservation Society. I'm Mad Mardigan. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell notification so you can be notified the minute new content drops. Cheers. I have a lot of information to cover here, so please forgive me as I keep the humor to a minimum so that I can, properly convey the insane, nerdy coolness factor that is True Iron. And it is too much nerdy stuff, so if you're not technical, this is going to bore you to crap. All right, here we go. True Iron is a very special plugin and one that I've used extensively for over a year, probably more than a year. Anyone who uses it will likely attest to its fantastaballsness. It's very simple because it kind of only does one thing. I'll explain. But first, what even is a Kazrog? Kazrog is an audio plugin company that has been kicking names and taking ass for several years now. Kazrog was founded by Shane McPhee back in 2008, which was the dark night and wanted to go. Kazrog's mission was to allow home studio producers to achieve sonic results equal to or beyond those possible in a large professional scale studio. In my opinion, they've done just that. Basically, they make analog modeling plugins that rival even the very top-tiered plugin companies. And I do mean rival. So far, in my own experience, Kazrog is leaps and bounds better than most. They've got products like Ampcraft, True Dynamics, True 252 Graphic EQ, K-Clip 3, and the new Avalon VT747 preamp emulation, and of course, the much-loved True Iron, which we're talking about today. True Iron is a very straightforward plugin that emulates 6 classic line transformers known for their use in vintage analog outboard gear. Okay, so those are a lot of fancy words for some, but what does it actually do? Well, if you're really into audio, like audiophile type stuff, you might know that a transformer, top shelf ones usually have an iron core, creates some of the most amazing sounds in expensive audio gear like high-end tape machines, mics, preamps, compressors, and other high-end audio devices. In a nutshell, running your sounds through a transformer adds warmth, heft, and girth. It can add saturation and even a little compression, but in a way that it's incredibly pleasing to listen to. It makes sterile sounds have depth and feel more organic. Enough talk. Let's go inside my computer to demo this thing and talk even more. So here I am inside Luna. I went to record some acoustic guitar parts to showcase this plugin, and once again inadvertently wrote another little mini song, which you'll hear soon. I'll show you what True Iron does and how to work it on individual tracks, and then I'll add it to the entire song so we can hear it all. First, let's do the rundown of the plugin. So here's True Iron. It's a very simple looking interface. The following information is going to be nerd overload. So hang on to your pantaloons. Here we go. From left to right, we start with the crush knob, which adjusts the amount of compensated gain in the circuit. This can be used to create saturation and distortion to taste. The X2 switch is used to double the amount of gain to produce more prominent distortion effects. The Unity boost switch sets the impedance of the virtual transformer. On Unity, it's balanced for stereo material. On Boost, it's perfect for a 3 decibel boost in mono instruments and other mono tracks. The strength dial adjusts the tendency towards nonlinearity. Turning it up creates more saturation and harmonics, and turning it down allows for more clean headroom. Leaving the strength at the default position of 5, or 12 o'clock, will match the exact harmonic response of the hardware True Iron was modeled on. When morph is enabled, on top of adjusting the nonlinearity of the transformer, the strength control also shapes the modeling tolerance to morph the harmonic overtone response profile. When morph is on and the strength knob is cranked up higher, it will result in more saturation with even order harmonics, basically a higher total harmonic distortion for a more vintage effect. The voicing selector is where you choose which transformer you want to go with for your particular application. Here are the models. 108X is based on the UTC HA108X. This is a series of transformers from the 1950s that ended up in Ampex tape machines along with compressors like the LA2A. This transformer has been heard on countless record albums. I can't count them. They can't be counted. The 401B is based on the Molotki E4M 401B, which was also developed in the 1950s and was in the German version of the Fairchild limiter, and also in many products by Neumann, Telefunken, and many more. It sounds like good. The V178 is based on the Hauf V178 transformer. The Hauf transformers were inside every single Neumann mic ever made by Georg Neumann. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly in German. Because it is very hard to get right, and I am not German. The 111C is based on the Western Electric 111C. This is my favorite voicing for the master bus or for mastering in general. This is a highly sought-after transformer that many audiophiles enjoy running their digital audio into. It's fantastic for mastering. It's thick and velvety, balanced and warm. It eats like a meal. The 1166 voicing is based on the Mariner LO1166A transformers. This is the one used in the Neve 1073 and 1272 preamps. It's a beautiful, lush, mid-focused sound. And everyone loves a good Neve sound, even your dog. And lastly, the 012 is based on the UTC 012, which was famous for being in the Uri Revision A Blue Stripe 1176 compressors, along with many others in the revisions in the 1176 line. It's got its own amazing sound and has to be experienced with your ear holes to properly appreciate. So those are the various included voicings. They all have their place for what you're doing. On to the DNA switch. This enables or disables DNA mode. When on, this creates an enhanced level of frequency response to make the entire unit even more accurate to the original hardware being emulated. This increases CPU usage a bit, but if you have some CPU to spare, this really brings the whole thing to another level. And finally, the mix knob, which blends the wet and dry signal the same way all mix knobs do. Up top, we've got some presets pre-installed, an A/B comparison mode so you can compare two settings back to back, a save button to save your own presets, and a theme button to change the grayish-black color to a really nice green. I prefer the green. I seem to enjoy green a lot. Perhaps it's my favorite color. I'll have to meditate on that. But that's neither here nor there. And then we have the under-the-hood settings. This plugin is generously oversampled to avoid any and all digital aliasing. You can choose the online oversample rates for real-time playback, and you can choose the offline oversampling rate for when you're doing your mixdown. The DC filters reduce the DC component of the analog emulation at the expense of subsonic low-end content. I usually leave these off, but you can do whatever you want. No one really understands DC filters anyway. It's fine. And the linear phase button enables linear phase oversampling. I always have that on. Okay, so enough nerdy stuff. That was a lot of jargon jar. So let's just mess around with some music, and I'll toggle through some of the settings with the song and the different parts of the song without talking, all right? So here we go. It's hard to write a song with words like Kazrog. And even true iron is impossible to rhyme. Yeah. I suppose I could mention fictional monsters like a Balrog. Has Balrog been in a song before? Or is this the first time? Ooh, true iron. Ooh, it's on fire. Ooh, it's not really on fire. I just couldn't find a better rhyme for iron, so I just went with fire. Ooh. Sounded pretty good. It measures. Oh, hold on a second. Let me just find my trusty old measuring tape here. Here it is. You know, this measuring tape was handmade by a Hill Valley blacksmith named Emmett Brown back in 1888. I picked it up from a kid with a floating skateboard in 1990. Anyway, it can't be measured. It's a plug-in. It's a plug-in. By the way, I recorded that song with the Shure SM57 on the guitar cab and the SC Electronics SE4400 on everything else, including the acoustic guitar and vocals and all that, using no preamp emulations or anything, just mic'd up everything and straight into the Apollo. All the saturation that you heard came from True Iron. So yeah, True Iron. It's compatible in VST, AU, and AAX. It works on Intel or Silicon and is available for PC and Mac. True Iron has a low CPU footprint as it is intended to be used across multiple tracks in a session, or whatever you're doing. So how much does it cost? Well, you can grab True Iron when it's not on sale for $69 USD. But at the time of this video, it's on sale for $51 USD, so 51 bucks. Right now, if you go to their website, or at least when I'm filming it. Hopefully it's still on. That's a fabulous price for something you'll use all the time. If you're into recording music or you're looking just for that natural audiophile hi-fi sound. It's very subtle, but you know what? It may live on your buses, and it sure lives on mine. You can find it by going to www.kazrog.com or by following the link in the description below. True Iron is the very best transformer emulation plugin I've ever heard, in my opinion. But I'm not to be trusted since I've not tried all of them. And also, I'm just some guy. I've been using it for more than a year, and I absolutely adore this plugin. It's its own thing. It's subtle, but can be made to sizzle if you want. I find it's especially useful when mastering, but also find many great uses like on transformerless mics to pretend that the mic has a transformer, or for a little extra grit on transparent compressors and all kinds of other fun stuff. So that's your basic Kazrog True Iron plugin. I'm a big fan over here, and soon I really hope to try their new Avalon 747. That's on my list. And that'll just about do it for all of us here at the Time Preservation Society. I am the greatest swordsman that ever lived. Bye now. In transmission. There's a lot of noise happening. There's a windstorm out there. So, yeah, hopefully there's not too much rain. You know what happens when it rains, don't you? Anyway, watch these. Bye-bye.